Don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Full-Time Sports Network. Welcome to Arsenal 2, Arsenal 1 match review. We've got two wonderful guests. First, we'll start with Steve. How are we doing, Steve?
Up shit creek without a paddle. Up shit creek without a paddle is how I feel right now. But look, guys, it ain't doom and gloom yet. I need you guys to do something. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Please go ahead and do so. We're doing a show right now after a massive loss. You got to give us some fucking credit. Seriously. Please like the content. Please subscribe to the Armoury. If you could subscribe to my channel too, because you know it ain't easy. It ain't easy being an Arsenal fan in Australia or any country right fucking now. How am I doing right now? I'm not doing good. I'm drinking coffee. What time is it? 8 o'clock at fucking night. That's a triple shot mocha. That's what I'm doing right now. This is what this fucking team does to me. Up at 6 a.m., 8 o'clock at night, ready to fucking rumble because my boys don't know how to fucking kick a ball anymore. We're fucking prime Bournemouth right now. Yeah? And I'm holding on by a very thin thread right now.
So he's nice and happy, and his internet is about as happy as he is right now. Tony, it's your birthday eve. How are you doing?
Yeah, they were trying to wind me up, didn't they? No, it's bad. It's not what I wanted, but it's not what we expected either.
No.
But we're gonna dive into it, and what a time to finally reunite with my Australian brother, and we got to talk about a defeat. Great.
Yeah. It's painful. Look, we're going to dissect it a little bit. There's two people I want to talk to about specifically. But these is the score. It was Jesus. With, to be fair, a good goal. I was happy with the goal. The through ball by Saka. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Actually, Jesus can actually put the ball away, which is what I want from a striker. Funny that. But then Thomason, the goal. Now, who are we putting this blame down to mainly? I'm putting it down to Raya for the first goal. Steve, you agreeing with Raya for the first goal? Yep.
He's decided to put the ball out quick to Tomiyasu. He hasn't opened up his eyes to the situation. Poor ball to put through. Put him under pressure. Not a good idea.
No. Now, me and Steve were talking very briefly before we went on stream. The second goal, I thought was a very good finish. By Wahi, great cross. Frankowski absolute caused us a nightmare yesterday. Absolutely, Tony, that was one of your players that you said to keep an eye out for. He was dangerous yesterday. Zinchenko, for me, again, just cannot defend. I'm sorry, but Steve has a different opinion on this second goal. So, your opinion, mate. Who do you feel was to blame for the second goal?
Okay, Zinchenko didn't do us any favors on that left-hand side because, of course, he didn't defend very well. But he was. Don't get me wrong. He was in the right positions going forward. Defensively, wasn't the best. But I want to know where my £100 million player was. Wait a minute. I know where he was. Cameo shot behind the man he should be defending. Behind the man. Now, I know everyone's going to say Declan Rice, he had a decent game. He was a lone number 6 and all that. I don't care. I really don't care. You're a number 6. Pick up your fucking man.
Yeah. You
can't allow a player to get into the box and you struggle to keep up with him. Knock him off the ball. I don't care if you Casemiro it. Take him out if you have to. Get side by side. Do whatever you have to do. Dark arts. It's fucking big boy leagues now. This is not West Ham. This is not Millwall. Not Wimbledon either. It's Arsenal Football Club. This is Champions League. It's time to pull up your socks and play 95 minutes, not 85 minutes, not 80 minutes. Oh, I'm hung out to dry as a number 6. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't care if Mikel Arteta puts you in as a number 2. You put in a shift. And I know it's like, but he's done so well in that game. You can play really well for 85 minutes. As soon as you drop your shoulder and allow another player to get past you and score a goal, it's all out the fucking window. Not unless you can get it back. He didn't get it back.
Yeah.
He didn't. And to be perfectly honest, if you're going to be playing number 6, your job is to hold your fucking player. Slow him down. Where did he slow him down? Where? The guy walked past him like he was a spectator. It's like he was half asleep and he allowed him to get into that box. Come on, man. The distance was a fucking joke. The man had enough time to set it.
Yeah.
It was right. Look, I know people are going to talk about Mikel Arteta. Oh, Declan Rice wasn't used in the right position. I really don't care because he's played number 6 for West Ham before. He's got a really good back line. He has a decent midfield in front of him, better than what he had at West Ham. If anything was supposed to happen in that game, he was supposed to cover his man. Don't go forward. You're a 6. You can stay back. Now, all you have to do as a 6 is stay back and defend the line and hold up your man, and you can't even do that. I'm sorry. As much as he's star man, £100 million, he fucked up in this game. He's not the one who... He didn't cost us the whole game. His performance wasn't the worst performance, but that is unacceptable. And just because he's new and he's a £100 million player doesn't mean I'm not going to get on his back. No, I'm sorry. I smashed Kai Havertz because Kai Havertz cost us 60 and he does nothing in the game. And I've done that every single fucking game I've been on. I've been hammering him because he's been shit. And in this one, he's been shit too. But Declan Rice in this game didn't do himself any favors. You were brought in as a 6. If you don't know how to play 6, come on, dude. You did it for West Ham. You can't do it for me? For 90 minutes? Come on. No, I'm not. Declan Rice in this game wasn't the worst player, but he didn't have a great game. And he didn't do us any favors with that last goal. Zinchenko, I know everyone's going to go down, oh, Zinchenko this, Zinchenko that. Zinchenko opens up the play so much on that left-hand side. We know we play with a friggin' left back or a right back that will go forward. We know this. We already know it. With Tomiyasu as right back, that means you get nothing from him going forward. That's why we got Zinchenko to come in the midfield and play it up. That's what he does. Now, obviously, fucking Declan Rice is made aware of this. Obviously, all the other players know what Zinchenko is going to fucking do. Understanding that's going to fucking happen, Declan Rice has to sit back a little bit. You can't let the player get beyond him, guys. Who's going to step into the ring with me on this one? Come on. You can't allow the man get past you that easily. It was too easy. And you know, we're not talking playing Manchester City. We're not talking about playing Liverpool. We're playing some, you know, come on, guys. Look at the level we're playing here, and we struggled. I'm not convinced.
No, fair enough. Tony, what about you for the second goal?
I kind of disagree.
Go for it.
Yeah, he did lose his man, but who was Gabriel and Saliba marking? They could have gone on him. So I think it's a collective between the three there, if I'm honest. All three of them should take a look at themselves. Maybe there was a lack of communication. I don't know. But I saw Gabriel and Saliba marking no one as well. So for me, it's the collective. He made it look easy. Reece Nelson had a similar chance, which he should have probably buried as well. But look, I think pinning the blame on one player on that situation is a little bit harsh. I understand what you're saying, Steve. I really do. But I think there was a lack of communication there because, as I said, I didn't see Gabriel or Saliba marking anyone in that moment.
Fair enough. Before we get into the stats, which is actually going to annoy us more than they normally do, to be fair. Big up to Temi Ola. Now, Temi, I remember your predictions. You went for a 3-1 defeat to Bournemouth. That backfired, and obviously you kind of played it well because obviously Arsenal won 4-0. But for this one, you were very confident and went for a 3-1 Arsenal. Now, can you just predict the opposite result to what we want? If you could do that, Temi, because so far you're getting the opposite ones spot on the predictions. Please, Temi, but big up to you, Temi. Big up to Luke. Thank you very much for swapping voice notes with me this morning. I wanted to get your opinion as well, Luke. It was very, very interesting hearing yours this morning. Morning, Bobby, Tony, and evening to Steve. Morning to my pod brother. Hope you're doing well. So let's get on to the stats. This is not good reading, people. I'm sorry. Right, possession wise, Arsenal's had 33%. Arsenal had 67. 10 shots for Arsenal, 11 for Arsenal. 3 shots on target for Arsenal, 6 for Arsenal. 3 corners for Arsenal, 5 for Arsenal. Passing accuracy, it gets worse. Everything just gets worse. 78% for Arsenal, which is not good enough for Champions League. It should be around 85. I say this on every reaction that I do. 85 is the magic number. Ours is 89. XG 0.64 for Arsenal. Ours is 1.31. We lose 2-1. But the thing is, the stats don't back up my opinion of that game. That those stats, if you just looked at the stats and never watched that game, you go, "Oh, Arsenal were just unlucky to lose." We weren't. Our performance
They
was
look more purposeful
woeful.
going forward. They like from minute one, they
Mm.
were attacking us. That's what I saw anyway.
Yeah.
The atmosphere obviously helps, and obviously it's their first Champions League game in 21 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So they should have known that the crowd was going to be well up for it. And after that first goal, I just don't know why we didn't go again. I mean, our goal came from a mistake from the back from them, and we obviously capitalised. We showed our quality with that goal. But then after that, it's just the same old. Then obviously they scored. Brilliant goal, by the way. You got to give them their dues. That was a quality strike.
Yeah.
A lovely little touch as well from Wahi. And I spoke to you about Wahi. I told you I was expecting big things from him this season, and I think we're starting to see the best of him now. But yeah, and then obviously Saka's come off injured. 39th minute, something like that.
Yeah.
And heads were down. And Saka, I mean, you're going to talk about the starting lineup in a minute. So I won't go into that now. But yeah, it's just very, very frustrating. And like you said, those numbers do not reflect what I saw.
I know. Yeah, actually, it frustrated me when I was doing it this morning. I was typing up. I was like, this is just so wrong because the performance does not match up to the stats. This is why people really need to be careful with the stats, because if you just literally looked at the stats, watch some highlights, because I'm sure the highlights will probably look positively on Arsenal if you do an Arsenal.com version. It doesn't match up because that performance, and I will say this, every performance this season has been woeful, bar the PSV game. Bar the PSV game. It's the only one I've enjoyed. Every other game I've done, and you all know I do the watch-alongs, the only game I've sat here and chilled out throughout the whole game was PSV. Every other game I've been stressed. And you know what? The best creation I've done for these watch-alongs are those goal animations, because once that second goal went in, I was swearing for those 5 seconds while it was saying goal Arsenal, because honestly, I was so furious because we deserved to lose last night. It's as simple as that. We deserved to lose. We were poor. Yeah. And the biggest concern that I've got, and people know this about me, I don't watch Man City games. I don't do watch-alongs. I will ban myself from watching them because I can't stand watching City play. They play a system which I call the pirate ship, where you go up one side of the pitch, go on the right, doesn't work. You go back to defence, then go up the left. We were starting to do that last night, and I was like, no, I'm not having this. We've got players that can take on defenders. We seem to be worried about taking on players. We've got Smith Rowe, we've got Nelson, we've got Jesus, we've got Trossard, we've got Saka when he wasn't injured. Those players can take on people. I don't like playing the City way. I can't stand it because it can backfire on you. It backfired against them against Wolves. It can happen. And it's not attractive football either. I don't find it interesting. I find it very tedious. Yes, Tone.
On the City thing, surely you would realise City have been in the Champions League for a while. They've tried. The year they get themselves a prolific goal scorer, they win it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you wonder why?
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll definitely be talking about that later in the year, like November, December time. There is a lot going on behind the scenes at the moment with Arsenal talking about bringing in new players. But yeah, I just want to get some comments before we go on to the stupid, and I'm going to say it's a stupid lineup because it was a stupid lineup. Last night is yet another poor performance away from home under this manager. We're going backwards this season. Arteta has taken us as far as he can. We should look for a new manager, says Luke.
But who did you get in?
Mate, there's about 20 people we could get in. This is the thing. I don't know what it is with football fans sometimes, but there is many managers that are good quality that can do the job. We've got a good squad now, thankfully. I think that there are other managers that can come in and just tinker the way that we do things a little bit. It's only little tinkerings. It's not like we're miles away from having performances after performances that we're all happy with. It's little tinkerings. And the problem is and I'll get into it regarding Steve Round. We lost Steve. We didn't replace him. Now, a lot of people go, yeah, but it's only Steve. Steve was hugely important. We've lost Steve. Hopefully, he'll get back in a minute. Sorry, I've just realised that Steve Round was who I was on about, not Steve Aussie Gooner, because I just realised we just literally lost Steve Aussie as well. But we've not replaced him. So now all Arteta goes to now is speak to Albert or Carlos, his two coaches, and I think Arteta has too much power. And I know it sounds crazy because he's the manager. They should have all have the power anyway, but it's not. It's sometimes you listen to other people's advice. Albert is very, very good at advice. He's coached himself. He coached a team when Depay was in the under-19s with the Netherlands. So he's got plenty of experience. He knows how to deal with people with attitude problems. But Steve was the calm man. He was the calm. He was very chilled and very relaxed. And I just feel that Arteta's just overthinking things a little bit too much, where Steve would literally say to him, okay, just simplify it a little bit now. And I do believe there are other managers that we can get. And right now, I'm not saying sack him. I'm not saying sack him at all. I'm not. And I don't think Luke is, to be fair. I think that there is a point where some managers do have a ceiling. Like Brendan Rodgers has a ceiling. Liverpool was too much for him. He's good for SPL. There's a ceiling for a lot of managers where they can't achieve stuff. There's like Ange at Tottenham. I think that's his ceiling. I don't think he could go any higher than Tottenham. I think that's the biggest club he will be able to manage. And that's not being any disrespectful to Tottenham. It's just that there's what we've got to remember from Arteta. The performances in Europe good. They weren't, were they? Every single one was poor, pretty much. We had one good performance against PSV so far. This was our first big test in a hostile environment. I will say it's hostile in Lon. You know, that those fans were fantastic. They kept making me want fruit salads because their flags make me look like fruit salads. But it was hostile. But an elite manager gets your players up for that. But also, and I'm not going to just put Arteta under the bus here, Odegaard, he's our captain. He's going to be a big talking point today, because for me, last night, that was the worst performance I've ever seen from Odegaard. Now,
he started well, but after that, yeah. Oh.
I'm a captain. I know what is expected of me as a captain. So you have to, when you see your other, I'm going to try not to say army personnel, but your other players not performing or not doing things right, or just things aren't going right, you're the one that's got to rally them, and he wasn't doing that. He did nothing. Declan, it's probably the Irish in him, was at least doing something about it. He was going, look, do that, you do that. And at a couple of points in the game, he actually just got the ball and went, sod it, I'm going to do this myself. And I remember him doing this against Kidderminster in the FA Cup at West Ham. West Ham were having an awful game against Kidderminster, nearly getting knocked out. Declan, I think it was the last minute of the either extra time or normal time, just took the ball, did it himself, scored the goal. West Ham went through. Job done. Because that's the type of character he is. I'm starting to question, is Odegaard the right captain at Arsenal?
Everything he does before and after a game, he does what a captain does.
Yeah.
You've seen it. During a game, you just don't see him.
No.
The only time you ever see him give it all that is after when he scored. Any other time, you don't really see it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you what, if I was the manager and Odegaard is continuing the way he's playing at the moment, I would strip him.
Yeah.
Give it to Declan Rice.
Yeah, because what annoyed me a bit more yet last night, when Odegaard came off, who got the captain armband then? It was Jesus. Like, seriously?
I know.
For me, that's that.
You
know, Declan Rice can do it. Why not at least make him vice captain or something like that? Steve is back in the house. I hope. I'm just waiting for his picture to come up here. There we go. Steve, you're back. Hallelujah. Just talking about the manager situation, because that's where you dropped out then.
Yep.
I don't think you're going to be of the opinion we should sack him now, but do you think, like Luke does, where he's got a level, and I think that we need someone else to take us to the next level? Do you feel like that?
Thing is, I understand where Luke's coming from, for us to go to the next level and yada, yada, yada. But who comes in? And please, let's not sit there and shout out names for the sake of shouting out names. There aren't many managers that are out there that are of quality. Really. Now, I know everyone says, look at Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham. He's been there for 2 minutes. Trust me, you guys don't know him like we know him. Relax yourself. Eric Ten Hag has struggled at Manchester United. Jurgen Klopp is happy at Liverpool. Nagelsmann is, we all know where he is. The options out there for managers, I think they're starting to get a bit skimpy. And I think it's too early to say see you later, Arteta, at the start of this season. I believe the Cronkies aren't that stupid and knee-jerk to do that, regardless of how things are going. If the Cronkies are going to make a decision, it'll be based upon how he finishes this season, the end of this season. Because that's when they're going to say, look how much we've invested. What have you brought us? And there's a deal behind closed doors of our expectation when it comes to us funding your rebuild, your artwork. And if it hasn't come to, like if your plans haven't come to fruition, they haven't shown up, then it's maybe time for the Cronkies to step in. But it'll be at the end of the season. It won't be now. And I know everybody wants to be knee jerk. I know Lee Gunner's probably out there saying, "Oh, I told this, I told that, and we should be doing this and we should be doing that." Cool story. You're so fucking good. You'd be a manager. All I can say is it's easy for us to condemn a manager. It's easy for us to go out there and FIFA it. The players that you have at the moment will fortunately believe in what Arteta is bringing to the table. So it isn't for... There is a togetherness. There is a sense of togetherness that we haven't had a long time. We have got an identity when we play our football now. I know it isn't what we want to see presently when it comes to success because we haven't had too much, but we have seen growth. But the Cronkies are going to be looking and knocking on Mikel Arteta's door as the season starts to finish up. And they are going to be expecting a Premier League, a trophy, and a significant, not no Cabbage Cup, not no fucking... and I'm not going to knock the FA Cup. I like the FA Cup, but that won't be to their standard, not after spending the kind of coin that they've spent. So I think the Cronkies are going to be knocking on his door at the end of the season. That's if he's unsuccessful. It's early days. These players haven't done us any favors at the moment. Yeah. And I know that it's their, these players aren't too bad. I understand they're not too bad, but at the same time, they've got to do better. Yeah. In this game, let's be honest, we saw the shots on goal and the shots on target, right? Kai Havertz straight at the goalkeeper, Saliba straight at the goalkeeper, Trossard straight at the goalkeeper. That's 3 of them already out the window. So I know it's people are going to sit there and say, they're decent players. Yeah, well, if I get another manager, what's he going to say? He's going to tell the players, well, could you not shoot at the goalkeeper and maybe go to the far post and maybe stretch him? Yeah. What else is the manager going to tell them to do? The manager sets up the team so that way they can play a sort of an attractive kind of football and a style that they want and hopefully create chances. Did we create chances? Yes, we did. In this game, we created chances. Did we finish them? No. Much like the other ones this season. Now, that's not up to Mikel Arteta to sit there and say, why, it's on me. We didn't finish our chances. He shows them how to build up the play. He puts it on a platter. Now it's up to the players, your Bukayo Sakas, your Trossards, your Odegaards, your Jesus's, your Havertz, to finish it. And if they can't, that goes back on these are his players. Well, if these are his players and you want a new manager, that means these players aren't good enough either. So the manager and the players have to fucking go. So if you're happy to play this game where you get a new manager and new players, because that's what it's going to be, by all means, let's play the game for another 5 years. Yeah. But it's more these players having to own this. A lot of people are going to look at Mikel Arteta, he's nervous, he's inept, and all this shit. Leandro Trossard in this game wasn't the best. Jesus, yes, he finished that goal pretty well. But after that, he was running around like a headless chicken. I think we could all agree. Unfortunately, Bukayo Saka gets injured. That's on Arteta. He's been playing him day in, day out, every 5 minutes. For fuck's sake, he's got him in his fantasy. He's got him in his dreams. He's got him in his attic. He's got him in childcare. He's got him fucking everywhere. Bukayo Saka doesn't get anywhere without Mikel Arteta or an Arsenal kit. You know what I mean? And Kai Havertz didn't do himself any favors. Martin Odegaard was M-I fucking A. He was Mesut Ozil in this game. Don't know if he's there. Declan Rice didn't do himself any favors in this game. Sorry?
Same initials.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
Scary. Scary.
What I would say about something you said there, Steve, was about the Kroenkes. Look, the Kroenkes will not have a knee-jerk reaction. They just don't. Joss is not calm, but he's watching the situation from afar.
He's a businessman. You don't knee-jerk. You look at it, you assess the situation, and say, we've got a plan. We've got the time. This is the time we've allowed for our goals to come through. If we don't reach those goals, if we don't hit those targets, then we come and assess at the end of the season. That's how people with the right rationale will run a club. You don't just knee-jerk for the sake of doing it for the fans to keep them happy and do a marketing move. No, this is about giving you the chance that we said we'd give you, backing you to say the way we said we'd back you. Now, we've done everything that you've wanted. You haven't come to the table with any success. I'm sorry. Thanks for all the laughs. There's the door. That's how it will probably go. And it will be a handshake. You did what you tried to do it. We backed you. Now it'll be the next manager. But they have to give him the time that they agreed upon. And I don't think the Kroenkes, in my opinion, I'm sorry for cutting you off, are going to be silly enough to not give this guy the time that it requires to the end of the season with the squad that he's put together. I think they're going to want to see if he's capable, because it's a very good story. If it works, it's very marketable.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think, the Kroenkes won't knee-jerk. And I want to pick up on something Gums has said a few months ago, that he sees that what Arsenal are building are not building for the now. We found ourselves accidentally in a title run last season, and that's the problem. So everyone is gauging everything by that. We're planning for life after Pep. I think he's got a point there. You look at the players that we're signing, the profiles. We need a striker, and none of it. And I'm sorry, we ain't winning anything with Jesus and Nketiah. I love both of them, by the way, but they're the guys that are going to bring us trophies, like the big ones that we want. We need a big striker. Like I saw a stat when Reece Nelson came on yesterday, 100% crossing accuracy, 4 or 5 crosses, but we got no one in the middle.
Yeah. What I will say about the manager situation at Arsenal, Arteta was close to resigning last season. I can confirm that he was close, and he would do the same again this season. If he felt that he was a problem or didn't achieve the goals that the Kroenkes set him, he will quit himself as well. And that is what I do like about Arteta. And I will not compare him with Guardiola and that, because Guardiola would stay and he'd stubborn, he'd lock himself in a room, he would. But Arteta would walk away if he felt that he was not doing what he was basically employed to do, which is take Arsenal to the next level. So, look, I don't think anything will happen this year, as in by the January window. But look, if things aren't improved by March, April, you don't know. Arteta might just go, I can't do it. I'm clearly not doing the job that I was employed to do, and he'll walk away. That is the one character thing about Arteta that I actually do like. He will admit to himself, "Nah, I've got it wrong. Sorry, guys. Let's move on." Then it's a whole different conversation about who we bring in. There is other coaches out there that could do the job. There's a couple in Serie A that I quite like, but it's not. It's more to do with the actual. I hate saying the word, but the project. Someone that's going to take on the project that we're doing, signing young, helping the team grow together and stuff like that. As what Tony was saying regarding striker, I do believe that we will try to get someone in January. I know someone is definitely leaving a club next year. Whether or not those two interlink together, I don't know. But I think we will sign someone. But for me, and I said this to Luke, because Luke asked me yesterday, like, could we just go out and buy a striker without selling anyone? We could.
Mhm.
I don't see it happening, because if we were to sign a striker, what's that going to do to Eddie? Because Eddie's our number 2. Let's be honest, he is our number 2. I would have to say Eddie would have to leave. It's the only way that I think we can get a striker in. I'm not that bothered by that. I know Tony might be a little bit bothered by Eddie having to leave to bring a striker in, but there's no room for 3 strikers in our squad. There's just no room. We only have 1 that plays. So, what would you be happy if you? Who do you want, Tony? What striker do you want out of anybody? It doesn't matter if they're linked with us or not. Who would you want in?
Well, it's not realistic enough. Osimhen would be the obvious choice.
Okay. Would you be happy for us to sign Osimhen and sell Eddie?
The problem I have with Osimhen is, as good as he is, can he cut it in the Premier League? So I would, if you're going in January, you've got to go in for a Premier League proven striker. And for me, there's only 2. And the 2 would be Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney.
Okay. So either of those 2 and Eddie leaves. You happy? So if Watkins comes in or Tony comes in, Eddie leaves, you're happy?
Yeah. It's for the best of the club. And you know they can score goals.
Steve, I'm going to ask you the same question. What striker do you want in January? And are you happy for Eddie to leave? I know this might be a different answer from you.
Ivan Toney all day. I've been screaming about him for over a year.
Yeah.
I've been screaming at Ivan Toney for 2 years. Before Jesus, I said I wanted Ivan Toney. So Ivan Toney all day. I see him. I see so much of Harry Kane in Ivan Toney, and it's not funny. So much. I see a player who can pass the ball. I can see a player can hold up the ball. I can see a player can finish. He's got flair. He understands the game. He's imposing. He's a complete striker, and he's Premier League proven. Maybe the attitude a bit 50-50, but he's young. With Eddie leaving and Ivan Toney coming in and Jesus is my backup, or they fight for that position, fucking all day. Okay. All day. And I'm not saying, and this is not to throw Eddie under the bus, but you can run all you want. You can get in the right positions all you want. But if you can't finish and you're a striker, cool story.
Yeah.
It's a very nice story. You know, you want to be Nicholas Bentner by all fucking means. But not at my club. I had one of those. I don't need another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need that. Sorry. And what's he on? 100, 105 a week?
Eddie's on a base wage of 66. It goes up to 100 with the bonuses if they match him. Yeah.
So thank God he's not making those bonuses, because he wouldn't deserve it this season. Seriously. Look, let's be honest. Look at Arsenal Football Club right now. I don't want to hammer on Eddie Nketiah too much, but when you look at backups in the striker's position, we're talking Eddie Nketiah and a false 9 in Gabriel Jesus. A false 9. He's not a full 9. He's a false 9. It's not looking good. We had an opportunity to go out there and do some real damage in this transfer window. We've made our mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for us to stop fucking around. And if it's going to be, we got to wait till January. This is not knee jerk either. I think Ivan Toney would be a great addition to our squad. I think he would be banging in goals, but I don't think it's going to happen seamlessly. So if he comes to Arsenal Football Club, it's going to take some time for him to bed in. He hasn't played football for a while, and now he's playing a different brand of football with a different place. So.
I think he played yesterday. Ivan Toney. He played against Como. There was a behind the scenes. I was given footage of Ivan Toney scoring a goal. So yeah, I know he's playing football behind the scenes because he's allowed to. He's allowed to play football behind the scenes.
Park football.
Yeah, but so I think it might have been Como. It might have been somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's Como. So yeah, he is playing. It's not going to be a knee-jerk reaction, like Steve said, because, as I said last summer, we wanted more sellings, as in more money coming in, proper money coming in, to go out and buy a forward. We just didn't get the money coming in. The reason it will be different in January is Champions League money helps. It comes in dribs and drabs in the first part of the season. That will help. I'm sure someone will leave. I've got a feeling 2 will leave in January, if I'm honest. But we'll have to wait and see. But I do think we'll sign at least 1 player in January. We might sign 2. Who knows? But I will talk about that more November, December time when I know more as well. Big up to Chris.
Ivan Toney, he's a clutch striker. Like, he can have a bad game, but he'll still get you a goal. You know? And I think that's why we need a player like
an assist. Or an assist.
Yeah, exactly.
He's that player. He's that guy. He's always dangerous, regardless if he's on the ball or off. He'll always draw out the defender. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's imposing. He's physical, and his football IQ is there. You know what I mean? At a young age, and like I said, I look at him and I see a lot of Harry Kane. I just see a faster, sharper version of Harry Kane coming through, and I look and I think he's a complete striker. Give him a couple of years, and he's going to be. Maybe 2 years, and everyone's going to be knocking on his door. And if we don't move now,
27 though, isn't he?
He's 26 on 27. Yeah,
he's 27.
I think 26 on 27. I think is he 27 now? I thought he was on 26. He's
27 now. Yeah, I had a feeling he was 20 because you were saying he's young, but he's been around for so long.
Still, do you know what I'm saying? So he's not old.
No, he's always. No, I'm not saying he was old, but it's the young part. I was like, I've seen him play for years because obviously he's played in the League One.
I remember watching Peterborough. I was impressed with him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And to be fair, the Peterborough strikers, they all seem to go on do pretty well as well. They seem to score for fun because they do it in the Championship all the time. And Ivan Toney was one of those, and went to Newcastle, didn't he, as well? That didn't work out too well. I think then he went. Northampton was another team. I'm sure he was at as well at some point in his career. He's definitely been around the houses a few times, Ivan Toney. But I think that also makes you mature and become a better player as well. I mean, you've had your ups, you've had your downs. It's a bit like Jamie Vardy, where Jamie Vardy learned the hard way. Yeah. This is why I say about loaning players to the Championship. For me, that's the best place to put them. It makes you mature way quicker than it would just sending you abroad. Look at what happened to Aziz when he got sent to what was it, La Palmas or whatever it was, Ibiza or whatever the club it was, whatever club that man the place was. That didn't help out, did it? Exactly. That's literally all you're going to be doing. Jeez. Well, look, in army terms, that we've got 2 camps, 2 barracks that we have that in the army. You've got Cyprus. The Cyprus is basically the party camp, and Germany is the other one. Is the party camp. And that it's pretty much the same in football. There's certain clubs you just don't want to go to because it's basically just going to be a good time. You need to mature. Charlie Patino's doing that really well at Swansea now. Norton Coffey's doing that well as well. He's at Millwall. Look, it's the right time, and Tony. That's where Tony is definitely going to be more mature. Yes, he's gone through the thing. He's been punished. He's going to deal with that punishment. He's dealt with it very well. He hasn't come out and just gone, oh, wine, like certain players do.
He's working. Yeah, he's working hard.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot to talk about that situation. That's for a whole different stream. Yeah. But you know, he's admitted it. He's dealing with it, and he's working on it. And I think he'll come back a better player. We all know he's going to leave. I know that. I've heard it from Brentford themselves that he's leaving next year. Now it's a case of where does he go? I think there's only 2 clubs that could probably be the targets, and we are one of them, obviously. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't agree with the 60 million, though, if I'm honest. That doesn't sit right with me, the 60 million. How much would you pay for him, Steve?
If we paid 60 million for Havertz, to tell him you wouldn't pay 60 million for fucking Tony.
Okay, but I think the contract is. Hang on, how long has he got in his contract?
Nobody wanted Havertz, so we paid 60 million. Everybody wants Ivan Toney. We'll pay 60 million. I'll pay 65.
He'll have 18 months on his contract.
I don't care if he has 18 minutes. Okay, we paid 60 million for freaking Havertz. Okay, right. 60 million for a player nobody wanted. This guy could go to Tottenham Hotspur right now and do bits. Yeah. This guy could go to. He could go to Chelsea and do bits. He could go to Manchester United and do bits right now. So with those 3 teams probably looming, right, let's just pay for this player because I think it would be a good signing. Unlike the money that we've spent. Now, if I put the money together on Fabio Vieira and Kai Havertz, we're nearly 100 million in the hole.
Fair enough.
Just putting it out there, and that was a good. And no one's talking about the 100 million, and we're going to question the 65 million or 60 million for Tony. No question.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I question it because that's the field that I work in. So for me, it's too much. But
okay, explain to me how you allowed that Kai Havertz thing to go through. Did you not question the 60 million for Kai Havertz?
I did.
You know you did.
I did. I questioned the 60. I don't understand how Chelsea paid what they paid for him from Leverkusen. I think that was ridiculous. But that is why they wanted so much back, because they wanted to recoup it. Because it didn't work out. I think they paid, was it 70 million for him from Leverkusen or something like that? Was it some crazy like that they paid for Havertz?
There was a good enough excuse back then because he was doing bits at Leverkusen. How the hell did we manage to pay 60 million for a player who hasn't done nothing in 3 years?
Like I said, this is all on Arteta. This one, the specific signing is all on Arteta. Look, we were very close to signing another midfielder. We then pulled that, as in we actually activated his release clause. We agreed all the personal terms with him. We pulled it to sign Havertz. That's the bit that narks me. I like Havertz. I like him as a player. I think he'll do brilliantly at Bayern Munich.
You'd be the only one who likes him.
I think he'll do great at Bayern Munich. I think he's wrong system, wrong country. That's my opinion on Havertz. I think he's a great player. Wrong system, wrong country. In the Bayern Munich, doing the Gnabry or the Zane role, I think he'll absolutely do absolute bits. I think he'll smash it. Tear teams apart because he has got that quality. It doesn't work here. That type of player doesn't work here. Not in for me. What was I going to ask Tony? Tony, how much would you spend on Tony? How much would you spend on yourself, mate?
How much? Well, what are you worth, mate? What are you worth? What's it going to cost for us to get you?
I'm probably worth 500,000, but I would spend 60 million on Tony. Why wouldn't you?
You would. Okay, fair enough.
Well, no, because you got to factor in English tax and all that, and he's an international now, and you know what you're going to get from him. Well,
yeah.
In theory.
Well, this is the thing. Look, market value. I do all the market values. That's what the area I work. 50 million. So it would only be paying over 10 million, which I suppose you can call it as British tax, I suppose. But so it's not too bad. But I'd be more willing for the 50 if I'm honest. I'd be if it was 50 and Eddie goes to Brentford, I'm happy. Happy days all day, to be fair. Right, let's get into these comments because I know they've been building up. I do apologise, people. Then we'll get into the team. Arteta knows before this game, Saka had been playing a lot straight at games, including last season games. This injury was coming, and Arteta has to take responsibility for that, for not changing up when needed. Yes, we'll get into that, Chris. Big up to you there, mate. Havertz unbalances our midfield. Saka gets run into the ground. We're just a P-Tech version of that club I can't stand. And he can't stand them either, or the way that they play. 100% agree. Aussie Gooner's in the chat. Step dropped out. Oh, you're back. He is back. He's like the Terminator. Always back. Why did you leave the Arsenal coaching setup? Yeah, he did leave at the time I was talking about Steve Round leaving. Yeah, I was on about Steve Round at the time. Odegaard is PR captain. He's not a leader of men. Remember the documentary? He was as quiet as a mouse. To be fair, he is very quiet off the field as well. He is a very quiet person. Not the type of person I would want from him.
It because he's captain of Norway.
I think so, yeah. And the thing is, with the Norwegian team, there's literally just two good players in that team. No, sorry, Moss, I know you're going to listen back to this and have a pop at me, but there is literally just two good players in that team, Haaland and Odegaard. Who else is going to get the captaincy out of those two? You ain't going to give it to Haaland because he's a robot. You know what robots? You're going to worry about the robots uprising. So you're going to have to give it to Odegaard. I just don't think he's captain material. It's not saying he's a bad player. You need certain qualities from a captain. I've seen it with Tony Adams. I've seen it with Patrick Vieira. I've seen it with Armoury. I want that. I want the passion. I want what I saw from Declan Rice.
I think he'd probably see a better Odegaard if he wasn't captain and he just concentrates on his football. Forget about
exactly.
Leadership. I think you'd probably see a better Odegaard, to be honest.
I think so. Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah, Arteta doesn't manage games well. His squad selection is often unbalanced, and he's going to run Saka into the ground. Last 2 seasons, he effed up what we was going for. I just don't rate him, mate. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Being blocked by my own fan base for being honest about the whole Liverpool circus situation at the weekend, for saying the game is done. I'm not interested in replay. Move on. That's definitely for a whole different stream, Chris. But if people have heard the VAR, that is what I hear every week. That's part of what I do. If you actually listen to it, you'll understand that was the referee's F up, because the actual techs that actually run VAR, that help do all the camera angles and rewind they said no, that who was onside. So the ref made the mistake. The VR techs that know nothing about football, and I guarantee they know nothing because I know them, they got it right. So yeah, like I said, it's not VAR, it's the refs, it's the human aspect that is messing it up. Big up to Tony. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me last night. Thank you for the hundreds that joined me last night. It was a very good stream last night. Thank you for enjoying my meltdown. Arteta can't keep experiment and making mistakes. 100% you can't. I can't be on with what Gumza is saying. The idea that we're waiting for Pep to leave to then win 3 out of 5 starting from 2026, I think he said that's wishful thinking. I don't think that's particularly what he was saying. However, look, the Kroenkes won't be happy if we don't make Champions League this season and we don't at least challenge for some trophies. Simple as that. I think Josh knows exactly what he wants out of this season. And I think Arteta does as well, to be honest. And that is what I do like about Arteta. He does know that if he's messed up, he'll walk. If Arteta is the man, then we should be title challengers this season, next and the next. I don't care if Pep is still City boss. Said before, top managers have been beaten. 100%. 100%. Yep. Big up to Canners. Long time no see. Watkins is no upgrade on Nketiah, says Canners. To be honest, I'd sell Eddie no matter what. We've come too complacent. Eddie is a championship player or lower Premier. Yeah, for me, he's a middle Premier, lower as well. Watkins is not consistent enough. Yeah, he does have a lot of purple patches and then fades for quite a while. Sorry, City will pan us. We've gone backwards last night and Spod's results showed that, says Tony. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not looking forward to the City game this weekend. We could have Eddie as number 2 to Tony, and Jesus can be rotated with Saka. I don't think we could, if I'm honest. Financially, I don't think we could either, because Eddie's on a fairly decent wage. Tony would be demanding quite a lot as well, to be fair.
It'd be over 200 for Tony. It'd be over 200 for Tony. And to be honest, let's be perfectly honest. When is Eddie ever going to play? Yeah. And when he plays on the wing, he looks like a fish out of water. You know what I mean? He literally, all he does is try and cut in, and it's predictable. I think it's, you know, when they say time to cut out the dead wood, it's time to cut out that dead wood. It's like the Sopranos for Eddie. It's over. It's done. Yeah. The time at Arsenal is over, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one now. Arteta, or should I say Pep 2, will not play to Tony's strengths, says Tony. Hope job's going well for you, Aussie, says Tony. Big up to you. Aussie,
great, man. Thank you.
Alone. Or was he to blame, you Fiesta? I know where Tony was saying, look, but I have actually going to get a lot of blame on X. I'm sure the messages are out there. I've avoided it today. I cannot be dealing with it. I've been dealing with NFL fantasy instead this morning. I just, yeah.
My players.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll get into that in the conversation later. So, 100% Aussie. Steve on Havertz, says Luke. Blame the higher board. They could have said no to Arteta. This is Arsenal FC, not Arteta FC. What I would say, I think we might be going back to the Havertz signing there. So we've got a data team that we listen to for all the scouting, all the players that we try and bring in. Now, the data team were not looking at Havertz. Arteta wanted Havertz. I don't know what communication was made to Arteta on this, but he was told that Havertz was available. Arteta then said, oh, yes, we must have him. Don't know why. So all the plans that we had in place were pulled automatically I don't know why it's madness to then bring Kai in. Now, I listen to the data team. They're the ones that I trust because they look into every little tiny specific on the player that we're trying to bring in. So far, it's pretty much worked with most players that we brought in, apart from Kai. Kai just doesn't fit in. I don't know why. He's a good player. I'm never going to knock his actual ability because he is a good player. He just doesn't work in our team. Don't know why. I was at work, so missed Bobby and Man United fans meltdown. You know what, Chris? Last night, I you know how I do the studio. It was quite nice to have the Man United score as well as the Arsenal score because at least that cheered me up. The Man United score was underneath the Arsenal score, and it was cheering me up because at least it wasn't just us that were losing. And to be fair, I take our loss over their loss any day, if I'm honest.
I said to Steve earlier, we had a conversation this morning, and I said, look, it's no silver lining that Man United lost, but it eases the pain.
It does ease the pain.
Just a little bit, eh?
Right. Let's get into this team. Let's give the player ratings. So this was the team picked by Arteta, went fully strong. The only player that we actually rested was actually Ben White. Don't know why. I'm not going to. I think we've talked enough about the whole team and the whole selection. We weren't happy with it. Saka, look what happened there. We'll get into that in a bit. Right, so we're going to go straight into player ratings. We're nearly an hour into this. We've still got Arteta chats a little bit as well. Tony, I'm going to start with you with Raya. We're going to go to each player, one at each. So Raya for you, mate.
4.
Fair enough. If you're asking me to see, don't forget your camera's about that big for me, and I'm like, what?
I think just quickly, he looked under a lot of pressure. He couldn't handle it. They were pressing us hard whenever he had the ball. He looked clueless on who to pass it to, and obviously at fault for the goal. I just thought he had a terrible game.
No, fair enough. Steve, we're going to go to Tomiyasu with you.
This game, I'd have to say 4 as well. I think Tomiyasu showed rust in this game. He didn't look sharp, but again, much like many other players, he wasn't on the ball, if you know what I mean. He looks like a player who hasn't played in this squad for a while, and in this game it showed. He should have been good enough to beat this team, and this team should have been good enough to win. But yeah, his excuse will be haven't had much game time. The rest of them, though, I don't know.
I don't know if any of you guys remember, but I say this a lot. I need that bit of rotation every game because it keeps the players fully charged, ready for when they are needed. And it shows every time that someone drops out for a few games, they're just not ready. They're coming cold. And you need to keep these players hot. And I'm not saying like hot. It's just you need to keep them their match fitness up. It's not. It's hard saying just match fitness, but they just need to be sharp. And when you drop players for so long, you expect them to then come in and just do a job. I'm sorry, I don't understand why we rested White out of all the players. Benjamin was the only one that was rested. It makes no sense to me because White and Saka have got this fantastic relationship on the right. And if I'm honest, if Saka still got injured and Fabio came on, I still think that would have been better having White there with Fabio because Tommy's just not the overlapping right back that we need. Good player, good defender. What did you say, Tom?
I don't mean to cut in, but just while you're on Tomiyasu, I just think that Ben White would have protected Saka more as well.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the next player. We're going to go on to the left back, Zinchenko, with you, Tony.
Zinchenko?
Yeah.
I don't think he was overly bad. I think I'm going to give him a 5. It's just in the middle for me.
Okay. Steve, Saliba.
Saliba for me had a decent game. I don't think he had a bad game. I think he was probably the better of our defenders. I'll give him a 6.
No, fair enough. Tony, Gabriel.
Just quick on Saliba, I'd give Saliba a 6 just because his on the ball play was better than his defending. Anyway, Gabriel, because I blame the second goal on a collective of 3. And he wasn't that. He wasn't too bad. He got
wasn't
stuck
bad in
in.
this game. Really.
No, so I'll give him the same score as Saliba. I'll give him a 6 as well.
Okay. Okay, Steve. This was a coincidence. You're getting Declan Rice.
4.
Okay.
No.
No.
4.
No.
4.
Tony.
No, I think he was our best player.
I think he was our best player. For me, he was. But look, what I would say.
I think
everyone's
Saliba was our
entitled
best player, to be honest. But anyway.
Well, no, everyone's entitled to an opinion. Everyone sees football differently. No one's wrong. I'm not saying Steve's wrong. I'm not saying Tony's wrong. What I saw was Declan Rice was our best player. Steve didn't think that, and that's fine. He sees
Best midfielder. I think our best midfielder. I think our best player was Saliba. In my opinion, I think Saliba was our best player on that pitch.
Yeah, I don't.
In my opinion, though.
I honestly saw Rice as our best player going forward with the ball. 100% successful dribbles, by the way. 4 or 5.
And he was supposed to be playing 6.
No,
He's
I
supposed
know.
to be covering the
I know
defenders,
that.
and he was running forward, and he should have been staying back.
It says it all, though, doesn't it? Like he was doing it. He was trying to do everything because no one else was doing their job.
But that's the thing. When you're a 6, yeah. Look, I understand what he was trying to do, but as a 6, you got to defend your back 4. And if you're going to go forward, now you're risking everything to make up for other players while playing well. You're risking your position. You're risking your defenders. So I know it's a decision he had to make, and he made the decision of going forward and making those runs, and good on him. But if he gets caught out, whose fault is that? Don't get me wrong. The other players threw him out to dry. They're at fault. Don't get me wrong. He's our best midfielder. Kai Havertz and Odegaard, you wait till you see the ratings. I would give them. But as a 6, you're it's like a number 4. If you're a defender and you're really good at going forward, and then they score a goal against us, what are you going to say? Oh, but he's been doing really good going forward. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be defending. Yeah. Know what I'm saying, David Luiz?
Right. Tony, there is a reason I'm giving you this player. And it's got nothing to do with that Steve might be the next person on. Havertz, Tony.
you better hear son.
Why do you give me Odegaard? Havertz. Oh, do you know what?
We'll swap. Let's swap. Let's swap. Do you want Odegaard? I'll take Havertz.
Go on then.
You want to swap?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, you get Odegaard then. Tell me what you think of Odegaard, then I'll go Havertz. Go.
Free.
Okay, fair enough.
Didn't see him.
No, fair enough. Steve, Kai.
0.
No, 0. Come on. Look.
0.
Look. I actually don't think he was that bad. I don't think he was that
Taking
bad.
shots at the goalkeeper again. He's got a whole goal to fucking take a shot at. He takes a shot at the goalkeeper again. Kai Havertz is either side netting or goalkeeper. Not the rest of the goal. Side netting or the goalkeeper. That's where I'm taking the shot. He's stat packing. Fuck you.
Do you not think he looks a little bit better on the ball though? His passing looks.
Are you serious?
Better. His passing looks a lot better.
Are you mad?
Give him a score for his passing, go on.
Dude, he's playing number 8. He's an advanced midfielder. He's supposed to give me a little bit more than that. Granit Xhaka, if I put Granit Xhaka in there, if I had to put Granit Xhaka in there, I'm telling you right now, he would look like prime Bellingham.
I think 0. I think 0 is harsh, man. I think it's
okay.
Really
1.
Oh, come on.
1. Okay. 1. That's it. 1.
I don't think he was that bad, to be honest with you. But I would have given him a 5 at least. But
a 5?
Yeah. I thought he was passing decent.
Right, I'm going to say my piece on Kai. I thought he was better yesterday. I think that chance that he had was extremely hard. He took it first time. I don't think he could have done much better. I've seen it a few times now, and I'm like, I don't know what else he could have done, if I'm honest. But he's improving. He's still not there, and that's what bugs me. He's not there. I personally would have done Smith Rowe in that role last night.
Now we're talking. No, you see that? You said I would have personally done Smith Rowe, and bloody oath, I would have put Smith Rowe there, right next to Odegaard. And you know what? He would have been passing the ball well, and he would have been taking shots that would have tested the goalkeeper. This goalkeeper could just stand there, and Kai Havertz would have taken a shot. I guarantee you would either hit his hands or his face. The whole goal could be there. He's still going to take a shot at the goalkeeper. It's like he wants to fucking hammer the goalkeeper with the ball. I'm sorry.
Steve.
I can't stand him.
Who was better, Odegaard or Havertz?
Odegaard.
No,
Are you ready?
no. For me, from not what I saw last night.
At half time, Odegaard. I didn't realise you were still on the pitch.
Yeah. From what
I know
saw,
when Havertz is on the pitch when he's making bullshit passes, right? He might control the ball, but his passes lead nowhere backwards and sideways. I saw that with Aaron Ramsey. I'm seeing it again with Kai Havertz. Or when he gives up the ball and then they go on a break. Not in this game, but seen that too.
Right. I've lost track of who's got the first pick now. It's Tony. I'm going to go because it's your birthday tomorrow. So Saka, you get Star Boy.
I explicitly said in the preview,
if
he has some kind of a knock or whatever, he's not 100%. You do not play him.
Yeah.
Yes, he got the assist.
Yeah.
Yes, Saka's probably the kind of guy that goes, I'm fine, boss. I want to play. It might be Saka. It might be I'm fine. But he shouldn't have played. And it's going to be hard to score him because he was only on for half an hour. But he did get the assist. It was causing him a little bit of some problems on that side. So, and he was our best player because he played half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
The first half an hour. So he would get a 7 from me. But he should never have played.
Yes.
Never in a million years. Never in a million. Now we could be facing City without our star boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Mikel. Yeah, I don't mean to do an impression of some of these anti-Arteta people, but that was a stupid call. Simple.
Yeah, it was.
You got to call it out.
We haven't skipped the Odegaard rating, I promise, Luke.
No, Luke, I can get a quick free.
Yeah,
Done.
It was a quick free. Yeah, we did talk about it. It was bigger.
There was nothing to talk about. I didn't see him.
Yeah, I promise we haven't missed him. Yeah, I'm sure Moss will come in hunting for us for later. But look, we have to be honest. We can't just have our favourites and just protect them all the time. And I have my favourites in the club, and if they do badly, I'll say that they did badly.
I love Odegaard. I need to say, Odegaard is mustard. I love him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. But at the moment, he's worrying. He didn't perform against Tottenham. Didn't perform last night. Those are the 2 games that we needed him, and he didn't show up for me. That's what annoyed me. Trossard for you, Steve.
Ooh. He was active. He was making his runs, but he had that opportunity. I know it was a tough opportunity, but he needs to be able to do better. Apart from that, I didn't see too much. I'd probably give him a 5 in this game.
Steve, do you think this game needed it missed Martinelli?
Oh, all day, all day. So. I think Martinelli in this game, because he's direct, he doesn't dilly dally. He takes on a man or two. He doesn't. You don't see when he takes on a player. He takes him. Let's go to the goal. Trossard will always try and twist and shake a player off, and that sometimes is undoing because when he does that, it allows the defenders to get in line. That's why his chain's closed up. You know what I mean? Whereas Martinelli, he turns on the afterburners and is at full pace, ready to try to beat you. And that would have been maybe a little bit of a difference maker. But unfortunately, no Martinelli. And I'm not saying anything about Trossard. Trossard's a good player, but he's a good player. But in this game, he wasn't at his best.
No, he wasn't. Tony, you've got Jesus.
2. I wasn't impressed with him. Apart from the goal was the best thing he done. Well taken goal.
And then you ran around doing nothing? Yeah, I saw that too.
like this really like a headless chicken and moaning at the referee all the time. Get on with the game, will you? Do your job. I love Jesus and I love what he does bring to the team. But when you're a striker, I want you to be prolific. Yes, I know the goal was well taken.
Yeah, it was.
But after that was it.
Yeah.
And I try and give the same energy people give Eddie Nketiah to Jesus.
It's rightly so. Rightly so. They're both strikers. They should be doing their job.
So and when we needed someone like Jesus yesterday, he just didn't do it for us.
No. Did you notice
I'll give him a 3. 2's too low.
Okay. Did you notice the issue that you had with, was it Medina the RC Lons defender.
Yeah.
Have they got history, those two? Because them two seriously were
It
not.
must be just an Argentinian Brazilian thing, you know.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Because I did notice those two really doing like a lot of words. And it
He
didn't
seemed
look
more
very nice.
interested in having a scrap with Medina than he did.
Yeah, he
scoring
did
bloody
seem distracted with that Medina issue. Right, let's get on to the subs. Obviously, Saka unfortunately came off in the 34th minute through injury. Fabio came on. Trying to think. So it's Steve. Oh, crikey. Fabio Vieira, Steve.
3.
3. Okay.
He was better than Havertz.
Well, there you go. Okay. I'll take that as a win. I'll take that as a win. I'll take that as a win.
Not much, but a bit better. Yeah.
Look, I've said this about Fabio. He cannot play on the right. It's not his position. That is not his strongest. He looks so much better in midfield, where we've seen him do very well this season so far. Nelson, or I would have. This is what I would have done, and it's going to annoy Steve. I would have taken Saka off, put on Smith Rowe, put Havertz up, Jesus on the right, put Smith Rowe in the midfield with Odegaard. That's what I would have done. But that was the decision. I personally just didn't like it. But it is what it is. Smith Rowe came on for Kai. So that's Tony. You've got Smith Rowe, mate.
Very energetic. He was winning the ball in the box as well. You know, he was doing things. So it just gives you that extra bit of energy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And you know, he's. I think that if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to find as well back in the starting lineup. So yeah, I was quite pleased by what I saw with Smith Rowe. Just because of how long he was on the pitch for, I'll give him a 6.
Okay. Next sub was, when it comes up, Nelson came on for Trossard. Steve.
I thought Nelson wasn't too bad in this game.
Okay.
He wasn't perfect, but once he came on, you know, the injection of energy, opportunities started to pop up, crossing the ball, trying to create chances. I'd probably give him a 5.
Fair enough.
Because it's about the time that he spent on the pitch.
Yeah.
He looked more when he came on.
Sorry?
He looked more of a leader when he came on than Odegaard. No.
Yeah, he looked like he wanted to win. He looked like he wanted to play. He looked like that we got to salvage something. He looked like one of the only players that was coming in there that was really fucking revved up. Would have been nice to see him come on earlier as a right winger. But
I had him starting.
I don't know.
In my lineups, I had him starting over Saka. Because you could trust him.
So yeah. Fuck enough. And Ben White on the right behind him. That would have been a nice lineup. Very nice.
Tony, you got Benjamin White. What are you giving him?
Yeah, it's like what Steve said with Nelson. I'll give him a 5.
Okay. And the final substitution was Eddie came on for Odegaard. Steve.
I don't even know what to rate this. Like seriously, did I see any change in the? I didn't see any change in the game. Like, what do I give Eddie? I can't even give him a 5 because other players actually did something when they came on. 3.
Okay.
Because he didn't have much time on there, and at the same time, it really Reece looked more infused, in my opinion.
I probably would have gave Eddie an NA, to be honest.
Sorry?
I probably would have gave him an NA, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was being nice. You know, let's just fucking get rid of him now.
No, but that's not because it's not his fault. It's just like there just wasn't enough time. And he come on for Odegaard. So where was he playing?
Well, just like he normally does, like a headless chicken. He was just following like the Jesus pattern, running around like he always does. Fucking.
Right. We're both going to rate this next person. So Tony and Steve, you're both going to get separate ratings. Mikel Arteta. I'm going to start with you first, Tony. What you giving Mikel on the selection, on the way that we set up? What you giving him as a rating of yesterday's game?
2.
Okay.
He wasn't. I don't think he realised what he was getting into. I don't think he realised how up for it the crowd was going to be, how up for it the players were going to be. To be honest, we were the same of the preview. We didn't really factor in that it was their first Champions League game in 21 years at home. So it was going to be a hostile environment. We know how our players can react to a hostile environment. They cower, and so does the manager at times. So yeah, he wasn't ready. The lineup, and again, it's the whole Saka thing for me. Just why?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Why?
I agree. Steve, what about you?
Yeah, 2 would be fair. I'd go even as low as 1,
Okay.
mainly because I did smash Declan Rice, but he was a lone 6. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
He should have played a double pivot. Kai Havertz shouldn't have been on the pitch. He would have been better off having Fabio Vieira or Emil Smith-Rowe start instead of Kai. Reece Nelson should have started in regards to Bukayo Saka needing a bit of a rest. Would have been a good idea. Leandro Trossard on the left would have been a great idea. I think Ben White could have started. It would have been fine. And if you're going to play Tomiyasu, rest Saliba. Tomiyasu's a right centre-back. He would have played centre-back pretty well. He would have covered very well. You could have rested him if you wanted. And I know we had Raya in goal. That was probably a good shout. Raya let him down. I think he thought he was going with a strong squad. But one thing he doesn't realize is that Saka can't play this many games and be fine with it because he couldn't do it when he was a footballer, let's be honest. And the other thing that I have a problem with is his continuation to be stuck on Kai Havertz and to throw him under the bus. Kai is not ready to start for Arsenal Football Club. He's not. Now, he's copping flack from a lot of people. I think he needs to come off the bench and come onto games a little bit later in order for him to maybe make an impact, right? And if he's going to get in game time, starting line game times, he should come onto games that are, Carabao Cup and FA Cup up until he hits the ground running. But instead, what he keeps doing is he keeps throwing him out there because he paid 60 million. He wants to act like the genius. So I think it's a little bit of an ego thing. And it's costing us because many a times I'm looking at Kai Havertz and I'm comparing him to Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka was getting me goals.
Yeah, you have to though, don't you?
I have to. He's taking that position. Granit Xhaka got me goals. Granit Xhaka was coming all the way back into our box to defend and then going into the other box to attack. Granit Xhaka was getting me assists. What's Kai Havertz getting me? He's not getting me any of that. So if he's not, it doesn't justify his starting line position. Now, a player like Emil Smith-Rowe, who has in the past done well for us, now I know injuries haven't been his best friend, even Fabio Vieira is starting to look like a decent player. They deserve the opportunity based on, one, Fabio Vieira performance, Emil Smith-Rowe, 2, past performances, and he could be coming back on top. Why don't we give them an opportunity? Why is it because Emil Smith-Rowe doesn't cost 60 million, so he mustn't be a good player? The old Arsene Wenger thing on Rob Holding? And the same thing, and now Fabio Vieira, he was 30 million, so he's half the money of Kai Havertz. That was last season. Now he starts looking half decent, not perfect, half decent, but in comparison to Kai Havertz, he's looking prime. Kai Havertz doesn't do enough right. That's my problem. He doesn't do enough right. He's on the pitch. But for me, I look at Kai Havertz like Mesut Ozil. He'll be a glimmer of hope for about 2 or 3 minutes, but at least Mesut Ozil amounted to something. He'd create more opportunities. Kai gets you a decent ball. It's a half chance, a quarter chance. And when he does get an opportunity, the shot is in the side netting or it's at the goalkeeper or it's wayward. So how can I justify the starting line? I'm sorry, Mikel Arteta has to fall on his sword. Every time he starts Kai Havertz, he's falling on his sword.
I agree.
Does Havertz
Right.
that's my issue with him. I don't ever see him talking.
No, he's a very quiet person as well. That's the problem with our midfield. We've got Odegaard and Kai that are both very quiet people. Very quiet.
We got mimes. We got mimes in the midfield, ladies and gentlemen. Mimes, fuck me dead.
But I think of all the midfielders we've had over the years, never been quiet. Even Jon Jensen was noisy. He still works at Arsenal now, so I know how noisy he is. Stefan Schwartz, noisy. You want the midfielders should be the most noisiest, arrogant people on the pitch. For me, so
that was the problem with Ozil as well because he wasn't exactly vocal himself.
No, very quiet man as well. Very quiet.
That's
man.
A German midfield thing. I don't know.
Be nice.
No midfield. Everyone else.
I'm part German. I'm not quiet.
Do you know what I would do though? Call me crazy, but against City, because if Partey's back now, I want to see and I think someone's put it in the comments.
Yeah, Eugene's put it in there. Yeah.
I want to see Rice and Party double pivot. Odegaard
Fuck yeah.
Odegaard in
Hell
front,
yeah.
right? And call me mad, Steve. I know you're going to roll your eyes at this.
Don't you fucking dare put him in as number 9.
No. Because if Saka is out, you'll have to put Jesus
Reece.
out on the right. You have to put Jesus out on the right and put
Nah.
Havertz in the middle.
No. I will be happy to put Reece Nelson in on the right and put Jesus in as the striker, and I'll be happy with that because at least Reece Nelson will cross the ball to a player who might be able to finish. We used to make fun of Olivier Giroud. Remember that? Look what you just said.
I loved Giroud. I thought he was the most unappreciated player we've ever had.
But we made fun of him. He wasn't good enough. We got Lacazette. And look what we've got now. We already have a player who can sort of finish in Jesus. We got Kai Havertz. I just told you, side netting at the goalkeeper or over the bar, and you want him to be our talisman. No, man. No. He doesn't start. He does not start.
I don't think their defense is great.
Doesn't have to be great against Kai Havertz. It could just be him and the goalkeeper. He still wouldn't fucking test him.
Yeah, but what I'm doing is I'm thinking like Arteta. I'm shoehorning Havertz in. So
Stop.
Right? No. If we're gonna, because every Arsenal fan, let's have it right. Every Arsenal fan wants to see a midfield trio of Rice, Partey, and Odegaard. No, every Arsenal fan.
They can still see that with my lineup and Reece Nelson on the right and Jesus in the middle.
Yeah. But you got to remember who the manager is. Who's the manager?
Yeah,
I am.
No.
You're asking me.
Steve, like it or not, Steve, Mikel Arteta is our manager, and he's falling on that Havertz sword.
Yeah.
So
and you know what? And you know what? You know what? It's going to be the sword that he feels.
Where we're going to beat City this weekend is the midfield battle. Those three at midfield will win that battle.
Yeah. Their midfield is weaker right now. That's their weakest point.
No KDB, no Rodri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I still believe. Look, I can see him starting Kai Havertz, but it will be stupid. It will be fucked. He'll be fucked. He won't win the game. He won't. Kai Havertz is not going to be the man. 7 chances, he'll score 1. He's like worse than Romelu Lukaku. Okay, and the way I see it is, I know Jesus is an ex-City player.
Like Broja, Chelsea fans get excited about Broja's goal. It bounced off him. That's all we need.
A lamppost. Kai, don't move. Don't move. Reece is gonna fucking bend one off your skull.
Right,
Who gets the goal? If Reece Nelson bends one off Kai's skull and it goes into the back of the net, does that count as Reece's goal and a Kai assist? Because Kai really didn't do anything.
It's a Kai goal. The Kai goal.
I'll tell you what, though.
He gets his face.
If Havertz was to score the winning goal on Sunday, it's worth 60 million alone. He's done his job. He can go.
He can go on holiday now. That's perfect. He's done it. That's it.
Right,
let's get rid of the liability.
Big up to Tony. Strange since new contracts to players we've dropped. How anyone can say Saliba was brilliant. Wasn't watch them same match. Rice was the best player. I thought Saliba was good last night. I thought we dealt with that really well last night. And to be honest, I think he would have had a lot of emotional feelings last night as well, playing against RC Long. So yeah, I think he did it really well. Big up to Saliba. I thought he did very well last night. That's just me. For me, Rice was the better player, but Saliba wasn't far behind. Luke's done his ratings here. Raya gets a 4, Tommy a 5, Saliba a 5, Gabriel a 5, Zinchenko 4, Odegaard 4, Rice 5, Havertz 3, Saka 4, Jesus 5, Trossard 3. I'm going to guess Saka was a 4 because he only played for half an hour.
I think that's really high scoring from Luke. I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's not as angry as he's making out to be.
Oh no, he is angry. Trust me. I've heard. We swapped some voice notes this morning. He's definitely angry. Subs: Fabio 3, White 5, Nelson 5, ESR 5, Eddie 5. Arteta gets a 0. Tony has gone with Raya 3, Tommy 7, Cine 4, Saliba 5, Gabriel 5, Odegaard 4, Havertz 5, Saka 4, Jesus 6, Rice 7, Trossard 3, subs 4. None of them improved us when they came on. Arteta gets a 3. Tony's loving your Aussie ratings. Havertz isn't a number 8, but he doesn't pick himself. I blame Diet. Exactly. No one picks themselves in this team. It's all on Arteta. We didn't do that. I want to play centre forward for Arsenal. Doesn't mean Arteta picks me. Now that Partey is back, let's have a midfield Rice, Partey and Odegaard. Do you think the flight delay might have been an issue, just trying to look for a reason for a rubbish? I cleaned that up. Rubbish showing. Yeah, I'm sure you cleaned it up just for me because you know I won't swear. No. There's no excuse.
For goodness sake.
Yeah, it's France, personally. No, absolutely ridiculous. We just weren't up for it, and we do seem to struggle in these type of environments, and that's all on Arteta. That's what he needs to get through to him. Aussie, we're playing like the Aussie rugby team, says Tony. Everything you've just said about Arteta, Silva One, is why he's not cut out to be a manager. Great number 2 and coach, but not a manager. If we end up selling ESR and persist with Havertz, then that's unforgivable. Havertz is taking the heat away from Arteta. I agree, my boy shouldn't be starting yet. It's the Wenger stubbornness issue again. Tony would buy a Giroud right now. This season he's not been great, if I'm honest. Last season, yeah. This season he's not been great for AC Milan. Nketiah a lower Premier League if they're lucky. Forget Hal End rubbish. I'm going to back up my Hal Enders. Everyone knows how much I love my Hal Enders. I don't think Nelson and Nketiah will cut it. However, there are some players in our Hal End right now that I think can cut it. This game, again, is another game that I'm very concerned why we didn't have a couple of youth on that bench. Just a couple, not loads of them. Just a couple. Just the better of the few. Cozier, Lewis Skelly, Rosiak. He's coming up leaps and bounds right now. He might overtake Norton Coffey and get in the.
Listen, I love Rosiak. I love him.
Yeah,
you know,
and Rosiak plays the way that he wants Arteta wants him to play. Does the inverted very well. Plays very comfortably as a DM. Cuts in. Very attacking minded as well. I do really like him. But Cozier Dewberry for me would have been perfect if he was on that bench to come on for Saka, because that defense wouldn't know what to expect from Cozier. And for me, that would have
maybe Frankowski would be a good cover for Saka.
You know what? I was very impressed with him. I
play both wings.
See, the thing is, I wanted to avoid talking about him because he's someone I used to sign on FIFA a lot. And I hadn't seen him enough playing in real. I only signed him on FIFA. So I was like, I will keep away from my FIFA knowledge and just, I want to see him play. But last night, my word, he looked fantastic. I can see why I keep signing him on FIFA now. He's a very good player. This is what Arteta will do. He'll play Rice, Havertz and Odegaard in midfield. We'll probably go Trossard, Eddie and Jesus, and we'll lose 3-1. Look, I got to be honest. I'm on 2 Arsenal defeats in a row at the moment. For people that don't know, I do the women's games as well. We've got Man United on Friday at Old Trafford. Oh, no, it's not at Old Trafford. It's at the Leaf Sports Village. I can't cope with 4 Arsenal defeats in a week. I'm sorry, I just can't. That will destroy me. So we need to pick up a win on Friday and Sunday because I need a 2-2. I can't cope with 4. I will need that international break next week. I tell you, Arteta won't give the Chief a chance. I've said this quite a few times, and everyone keeps having a go at me for this. I don't think he does. I don't think he has. I don't think he'll give the youth a chance. Now, I think this is where Nwaneri nearly left Arsenal. It wasn't down to Arteta that Nwaneri stayed. It was down to Per and Jack. Nothing to do with Mikel. Now, what was that? Sorry,
that's wow. Like seriously, it's not to do with the gaffer. It's to do with it's to do with Pierre Mertesacker and Jack. That he's stuck around. Yeah. That speaks volumes right now.
I know.
Usually back in the day when it was us and Wenger, they were staying for Wenger. Now the youth don't want to stay for the gaffer. They're staying, come on. Wow.
Yeah, it is concerning.
Yeah.
Tony, you know how much I love the Highlanders. I absolutely love them. I'm not seeing them enough. Look, I know we gave Charles to go Junior a go last week, but where was Cozier? If we're going to play Charles, and look, no disregard to Charles, he's having a great season in the under-21s as well. But Kozia Dewberry is the one that everyone talks to me about. Everybody at the Arsenal hierarchy. Say that again, Tone.
So everyone talks about him.
Yeah, everyone talks to me about him, how good he is, how he acts off the pitch as well. He is so talented. He is my version of the Martinelli on the right. He's my dirty winger. I can't wait to see him because he's just dirty. And I can't wait to see some dirtiness on the right as well as the left. Martinelli on the left and Kozia Dewberry on the right. With Saka out injured, bearing that in mind, just excite me. I will enjoy every moment of that. But yeah, I'm slightly concerned.
Me that I haven't seen Arteta throw like a surprise. Like I said to you the other day, Rosiak is the kind of player Arteta wants.
Yeah. Arteta actually sets up the youth systems so they all play the same way that Arteta plays football. So then all those youth players are ready. But what people need to remember, I also don't just work with Arsenal, I work with all the other clubs. And I think a lot of the problem is now with all the big clubs is they know there is so much riding on getting results that they are unwilling to risk a youth player. Because if it backfires, it's on the manager, not the player, the manager, because the manager is the one that picked him. And that's why you don't see City. That's why Cole Palmer's left City to go to Chelsea. You know, Cole Palmer was on the brink of breaking into that team, and he still didn't think that he would get into the team and left to go to Chelsea.
Look what he did against us in the Community Shield. Wasn't that enough?
Cole Palmer is a very, very talented player, very talented, and he couldn't see himself getting into that City team. He'd rather go to Chelsea. Like, seriously, what the heck?
He has given Rico Lewis a chance and Oscar Bob. So
yeah, but the thing with City, they don't have that. Okay, I'll try and be nice. Because I've already been barred from their They're talking to them at the moment. They buy a lot of their youth. They're not like us. They don't go and go all these little youth clubs and get all that. They buy their youth. So for City youth team is a different proposition than Howell End. We actually go and scout them, get them when they're young, and help them grow within our club. Man City just go and buy them. They buy them from Man United. They bought another one last week, I think. It's a gross way of doing it for me because you want the players to understand the club. You can only understand the club when you get brought up at the club. For me, that's why Smith Rowe is so great at Arsenal because he understands the club. Kozia Dewberry understands the club. They all understand the club. It's part and parcel of going through the youth system. City just buy it. They buy their youth. It's gross. I don't like it. Everyone knows how much I hate City, and I'm going to keep on. There's nothing I like about them, if I'm honest. Don't even like their blue shirts. In fact, the colour's blue. I just don't like their shirts. It's horrible. But anyway, sorry. Can't stand City. Agreed. Why did we... we have to... Oh, actually, we do have to have two goalkeepers on the bench in Champions League games. It's a rule. You have to have two. I don't understand what it is. You have to have two goalkeepers on the bench for Champions League games. So the only other option would have been Hilson. But yeah, Colhine and Ramsdale. Cedric. Oh God.
I can't believe it's there. I just don't get it.
No one wants him, mate. Not even Lidl want to hire him as someone to work on the tills. Just no one wants Cedric. It's ridiculous. Sorry, Steve. You have no idea what I'm about.
Does anyone need a valet?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, valet would do. Yeah, anything just to get him out of the club. I can't stand it. If we're out of the running in cups and leagues, start looking for another manager. And I backed Arteta. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it.
It's too early. It's too early
at the moment.
Too early.
We're still in the Carabao.
I'm not. Yeah.
We're still in everything. We're still undefeated in the Premier League. We're in the next round of the Carabao against West Ham. We've lost one game, but it's the performances that are worrying me. It's the performance, the continuation of this bad performance. And we've been lucky that we got away with some of them so far. The back passes of Vieira.
You see like your Gary Neville's and your Terence TV's talking about how defence win your championships, but goals do too. You can't just do one or the other. Like
No.
last year, we were attacking, we were scoring goals,
Yeah.
and we were letting goals. But this year, we're probably defending a lot better, yes, but we're not creative enough. So we need to do both, not one or the other, and that's why we're frustrated.
Yeah. 100%.
Mhm.
This should go. This guy should be able to take on defenders. He can. He can. Playing him out on the right doesn't give him confidence because he's not comfortable doing
Exactly.
that. He's been better in the midfield, and that is where his best position is. Luke saying with Saka out, give Kersey Dubry a chance. I play him against City. They won't be expecting it. I'd love that. I would love it if I'm honest. I'd do it, but then I'm not the manager. But you know me, I like to go risky with my team. But
Who plays on the left for City? Is it Sergio Gomez? Is he playing a lot more these days?
It's either that one. It's that young lad, isn't it? I don't know if he's still playing for him. Rico, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to. You just don't know how they're going to set up, do you? That's the thing.
Boring. Yeah. I guarantee it's going to be the most boring. I can't stand watching them. And the thing is, because I saw us playing them like them last night, I'm dreading this game. Two pirate ships playing against each other. It's going to be boring. Oh, seriously. Right. Anyway, let's not forget this started from Raya mistake, but that's okay because he passes better than Ramsdale. Ramsdale lives. Arsenal, Raya lives. Whoever wants him. What I would say between Raya and Ramsdale, there's a difference between their long passing. Raya is exceptional with long passes. Ramsdale and Raya with short passes are about the same. They could both make mistakes. It's both within them. I think it might have been you, Tony, last night that was saying on the stream with me that what other goalkeepers could we get because they're not the top quality. I honestly don't know. I would literally have to go and speak to all my colleagues and say, okay, what goalkeepers are out there that are better than Raya and Ramsdale that are like Ederson level? And we're not talking Onana because Onana is proving exactly what I thought would get from Onana.
No, wonderful. He's fucking top notch.
He's shocking goalkeeper.
He's awesome. He's the best. he's exactly what Man United needed.
Oh no!
Oh, De Gea is laughing right now. David De Gea is going on.
Madness, honestly, because even Colm came in. Tony knows what I'm about with Colm. He came into the chat last night, was losing his mind over the Onana. He's a goalkeeping coach, so yeah, I feel sorry for Colm. But yeah, Arteta is to blame.
Everyone was going crazy about him. I thought, well, what's he good at?
He's good with his feet. I'm an Ajax fan, so I've seen him playing at Ajax. He's not a great goalkeeper. He's great with his feet. I want a goalkeeper to be a goalkeeper. What they can do with their feet is a second thing. Be a good goalkeeper first.
Onana in pajamas,
Yeah.
Remember that?
The goalkeeping coach has questions to answer. Yeah. Look, Inaki, I will say this. I do have questions with Inaki because Inaki wanted Ramsdale, he wanted Raya, but he also wanted Runnison. So it concerns me that, yeah, exactly. Tony's face says it all. He wanted Runnison as well. And Runnison has probably been one of the worst goalkeepers that I've ever seen in an Arsenal shirt. And I've seen a lot of bad ones. He's got to be up there for the worst. And this is all on Anarchy. This is his goalkeepers that he wants. It kind of concerns me a little bit. But Raya, I know, is a good goalkeeper. I've seen him at Blackburn. I've seen him at Brentford. He is a good goalkeeper. Is he that goalkeeper that helps you win a league? I don't know. I don't know if Ramsdale is either. I'll be honest. I just don't know if they are.
I have to feel for Ramsdale though, because you've got.
Yeah, I do. I
do. Still not
but,
Champions League.
Yeah, look, I was quite. Look, I think when we did the preview, it was 50-50 for what everyone wanted, Ramsdale or Raya, and it should be like that. The only way I think this works, and Inaki has told me that Aaron and David are both absolutely chill with the situation, which is great. The only way this works is if they play 50-50 of the games. Because they're both of the same quality.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. But at the moment, it's looking more Raya. And it's going to...
Yeah.
Because Aaron, let's be honest, he wants to push for that England number one over T-Rex arms. So the only way he can push out T-Rex is by playing, because you don't get picked as a goalkeeper. Yeah, it's just, one of those. But it's just, yeah, I don't know what goalkeepers are out there that are of Edison or Allison. I don't want to even put Edison in there because I don't think he's a great shot stopper. He's good with his feet. But Allison
you want Ramsdale for Man City, didn't you? Come on, you at home.
I do. I would, because yeah, he's the best one to G up the fans as well.
I mean, the way Steve's frozen says it all, you know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The pictures we've got from Steve on the frozen pictures have been fantastic today. They've been absolutely free photographs of Steve.
It's been great therapy.
Yeah. Sorry, but I know. Yeah, like I said, they are of a certain quality. Steve unfortunately has dropped out. Hopefully he can join us before we wrap it up. But yeah, but the thing is, I don't study goalkeepers enough. It's not the area that I work on, but I can speak to a few people and see if there's any goalkeepers that around out there that are of an Allison type standard. I don't think there are. I've never been no names have ever been mentioned to me. You know, obviously we know Barcelona's goalkeeper, but
to be fair,
say that again, mate.
I do think our keepers are good enough. To be fair, you think what's out there?
Yeah, because you look at Munich's one. Is it Ulrich or whatever his name is that's in goalkeeper for Munich now?
Yeah.
He's rubbish, and he's playing for the best team in Germany. Like, seriously, Donnarumma, he's a right, I suppose. Courtois, he's a right, but he's not great with his feet, and that's the problem. Arteta doesn't want a goalkeeper that's good at shot stopping only. He's got to be good with his feet. And that's the problem. It's finding the two. And Ramsdale and Raya are probably up there for being some of the best with their feet. Anana's probably the best with his feet, but he cannot be a goalkeeper to save his life, you know. So it's a very hard mix to find, if I'm honest. If I'm Ramsdale seeing Raya make mistakes and still get the gloves week after week, I'd be asking to leave. I'll be very, very, very surprised and very shocked not to see Ramsdale in goal this weekend. After the Raya performance last night, knowing it's a City game at home, Ramsdale's the best one to G up their fans behind the goal for him, because Jasper and Armoury are just behind him as well, I think, in one of the goals, aren't they? So, best guy for me. I'll be surprised, and then I'll be asking the question to Anarchy again. Are you sure that they're both okay? Because I wouldn't be. Silva One done me a kipper one time when yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
how you met Danny, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I'm sure Tony's going to come back on this and clips of Steve. I'm sure, because the pictures today have been beautiful. You could have had lovely portraits.
You might see something. Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't players. This is Arteta. Maybe, just maybe, he's lost the spark of last year. Look, I've only enjoyed one performance. How many games we played now? 9, 10 games. I've enjoyed one performance, and I do all the watch along. So,
and even then, we didn't come out of second gear.
Yeah, that was a very comfortable.
I think everyone got carried away with the Bournemouth game because, well, to start with, it wasn't televised, but 2 of the goals were from the spot. Let's have it right. It wasn't a mind-blowing performance, was it?
No, I mean, the performance wasn't great again.
Yeah. So it's a concern, and obviously it's a concern going into Sunday. But look, hopefully they surprise us and they come out all guns are blazing. That's what I'm hoping for now.
That's what I need. Obviously, I'm on 2 losses with Arsenal right now. Arsenal women lost against Liverpool at the weekend. Lost last night. I've got a horrible feeling we're going to lose to Man United on Friday, if I'm honest. And then if we lose to Man City, that's 4 in a week. 4 losses in a week. Not unbearable.
I do have a problem.
What's that?
Is Spurs are playing Luton Saturday lunchtime, so they'll go top. And if we beat City or draw with City, they will stay top, and they're going to be unbearable throughout the whole international break.
Yeah, true. True.
But we should really be concerned about them because they're going to drop off at some point anyway. So they're a Madison injury away from, and I don't wish injury at anybody, by the way, but they are a Madison injury away from blowing up.
Yeah.
And they should
Yes.
have won on Sunday.
Tony said, "Yes, I'm Pete. I'll be back to normal by Sunday." Yeah, look, I'm annoyed. We would have liked to have done a reaction last night, but it's a good job we didn't because I was extremely angry last night. I didn't sleep till about 12:30. I was doing paperwork as soon as I finished. I didn't wake up any better mood. I voice note Luke that's in the chat to see how he was doing as well. I wanted to see how his feelings were after last night. Tony, none of us were happy. We all talked about it on the group this morning. None of us are happy. There's no positives.
Doing it now, it's therapy. I'm feeling better.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I've had a little bit of a moan now. I've got it all out of my system.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, I can enjoy my birthday tomorrow. We'll see.
Yes, we'll get into that in a bit. Don't you worry about that. I haven't forgotten it's your
yeah, I will have to go because my batteries don't go running a bit low, so I might disappear in a minute.
All right, well, I'll try and go this very quickly. Yeah, we've got the international break. However, there will be an Arsenal game that I will be covering over the international break. It's already set up. Arsenal versus Aston Villa are playing on the week on Sunday. So, yes, you'll still get your bit of Arsenal input because I will be covering the Arsenal women. And as a lot of people have said, hopefully Aston Villa have put their shirts out by then as well. Otherwise, you'll be saying way too much more of Lehman that you probably want to. Pick the normal team. Ramsdale in goal, says Tony. Interesting game against Man City on Sunday, 100%. Still one happy 60th, says Tony. That's just cheered you up from Tony Fulbrook. But Tony, where can people find you? And also have a very good birthday tomorrow.
I mean, that's all Arsenal related. That is probably so. You can find me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. As always, the Silva One 85 is the handle. Anywhere else you can find me, I don't know. Depending on what mood I'm in, you can find me anywhere.
But
and also, I'm going to talk for Steve because he's disappeared. He's obviously, his internet's powered down. He's probably getting ready for bed, bless him. But make sure you do follow Steve, Aussie Gooner as well. We're going to put the links down there after this stream. So head over there. Great content. As he says, he always calls a spade a spade. He speaks from the heart.
Yes.
It can be reactional at times, but we're Arsenal fans. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's why we love him. Such a great character as well. So thank you, Steve, for joining us.
Yeah, exactly. But from everyone at the Armoury, we wish Tony a very happy birthday for tomorrow. Hope you have a very lovely holiday as well next week, because you'll go on holiday next week. But there will still be some Arsenal content. I have reached out to someone to try and do a early review of our season with another Arsenal content. Yeah, with another Arsenal content creator. So I'm going to try and see if he gets back to me. Hopefully he does, because that will be interesting chat, because he does think differently to how we talk about Arsenal on the Armoury. So it'll be interesting just to get his views on the show, the season so far. But guys,
Sunday, whichever way it goes.
Yeah, the preview for the City game is on Saturday at 7 p.m. I believe it's myself, and I think it might be Brenny that might be joining. I can't remember who is free, but
the new Brenny name us for the reaction, isn't it?
Yeah, I've saved £100 for February. That's very good, Tony. Look, that's what we're here for.
We're here for, Tony. Let's get you on here one day.
Yeah, exactly. We will. Guys, take care. Speak to you all very soon. Come on, you Gunners.